Let's start the volume review with this rectangular pyramid. I know it's a rectangular pyramid because I looked at the base and saw that that was a rectangle. Okay, so my volume formula is 1/3 the base of the bottom times the height of the whole shape. So I got to figure out what my base is, which is what we just talked about as a rectangle. So we're going to change this to the rectangle formula. And we're going to multiply that by height. And then I start plugging in. Volume equals 1/3, 8 times 4. And I have not gotten the height of the shape yet because this is the slant height. Right? So I'm going to make a dotted line to the center of this because that is going to be the actual height. It has to make a right angle. This does not make a right angle with the bottom. It makes a right angle with this side. So we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. I am going to make a triangle out of this. And you can rewrite that triangle if you like. That makes it easier for you. The slant is definitely 5. The right angle definitely goes here. If you notice, this is only half of it. It bisected this side because we wanted it in the center. So instead of 8, this is now 4. And what we need to find is the height, so that goes right there. So let's go ahead and do that. The two that touch the right angle go together. X squared stays the same. 16 equals 25. Subtract. X is equal, squared is equal to 9. Remember, this is one of your Pythagorean triples, so you didn't have to do that if you already knew that 3, 4, 5 was a triple. Now we're going to take this and plug it in. And just because I put this in a bad place, I'm going to go and erase that. I'm going to go ahead and cancel out 1/3 and 3. They are reciprocals, which means that my volume is just 8 times 4, which is 32 inches, and we're doing volume, so it's cubed. The second example I gave you was a cylinder. I gave you the diameter and the height. So my cylinder formula is pi r squared times the height, which is the area formula times the height, right? Because we're stacking circles on top of each other. So volume is equal to the radius. If I gave you the diameter, I just split this in 2 times pi. Pi times the radius squared times the height, which is also 5. So volume is equal to 125 pi meters cubed. And remember, you can leave it like this on the test because that is the exact answer. Okay. Next, we have a nice composite figure. And anytime that I see two shapes together, that means that I'm just doing both of their volumes or both of their areas and then adding those together, which is what composite means. So the two shapes that I see here are a cylinder, which is pi r squared h, and a cone, so 1/3 pi r squared h. Didn't matter what my two shapes were, it just mattered that I was able to identify them and use their formula. So past that, I'm going to have to know what to plug in. They have the same radius, but the radius wasn't given to me for either of them, so we're going to have to figure that out. They gave me the height of the cylinder, so I could go ahead and plug that in if I want. And I can figure out the height for, this doesn't have the radius either, the height for the cone, because they gave me the height of the whole shape. So if I call this height x, I know that x plus 10 is equal to 19, so I just subtract 10 from both sides. And x is equal to 9. So the height for the cone I found. Oh, oops. And that's here. So now all I'm missing is the radius. And I can plug that into both formulas. Because once again, since this has the same base, these are the same radius. Now, I'm going to replace this x with my 9. Hopefully you can see the triangle that's in there. There's a height here and a slant height here. So there's a right triangle right here, which means I can find this radius by using Pythagorean theorem. So let's plug that in. That's going to be the two to go together. So 9 squared plus r squared is equal to 15 squared. 81 plus r squared is equal to 225. Subtract 81. That's going to be 144. And then we square root. Once again, this is a Pythagorean triple, so if you had this memorized, you should have been able to just look at it and be like, oh, look, that's going to be 12. And then we just got to plug it in. Then we're at time. So let's put that in the calculator. Pi times 12 squared times 10 plus 1/3 whole squared times measure. Any questions? Millimeters, or just meters, cubed. This is my volume of this composite figure, and that's the volume of them added together. Okay, this time I want you to find the area of the shaded region, and I told you that the height of this rectangle is 12. You got 3 circles inside of it. Now if the height is 12, then I also know the diameter of any one of these is 12, which means the radius is going to be 6. The radius is 6 that direction, and the radius is also 6 this direction, which means each diameter is 12, right? 12, 12, 12. So this is 36 this direction. So my formula is going to be the rectangle minus the 3 circles, and all these circles are the same size, so we're going to do 3 times the circle formula. We just figured out length and width, and we actually already figured out the radius. So all we got to do now is plug it in. Put it in the calculator. There it is. 6 times 12 minus 3 pi. And we get volume of 92.7. We did that in inches. So this is a area, remember, the inches squared. Don't forget to do squared for area and cubed for volume. Ooh, I wrote volume down, didn't I? Area. Next we're going to do this triangular pyramid, which is what I saw a lot of people having trouble with. So the triangular pyramid has a triangle at the base, so I use that same volume formula for any pyramid, except for I change capital B to the formula for a triangle. Once I change it, I'm going to start plugging in. So 1/3 times 1/2. Top times top is 1, bottom times bottom is 6. Makes it easier when you plug in the calculator because you don't have to do fraction button once. Or if you have a 6 like this, if we plug one of those in, it can just cancel out because that would be divided by 6, right? Which is what we'll probably do. So let's start plugging in. So the height for the whole shape is 6. It looks like we have a nice right triangle right here. Forgot to put that in there. But we were given this side and this side, which means that we have to figure out what this is so that we can plug it in, because the base touches the right angle and the height touches the right angle. So this is just there due to the Pythagorean theorem. If you memorize your Pythagorean triples, you should know what x is here. If not, you're going to plug it in. I'm going to rush through that and go ahead and tell you that the answer is going to be 8, because that happens every time. Okay, so we're going to have 8 here. Plug those two in. If I divide 6 by 6, they cancel. 8 equals 8 times 6, which is 48 meters cubed, because we're doing volume.